If you did not watch the Tajmir Billion Network history, I suggest you watch the video about a topic. Why? Because we're looking at a brand new and the new legacy descendants of Noggin and Classic Nick Jr. And what I'm talking about is Tajmir Jr. Now, Tajmir Jr. is owned by Logo Media LLC and Tajmir Media LLC, 50-50 share majority, to help Nick Jr. due to its collapsing ratings with Baby Shark Brooklyn and of declining viewership between its schedules, and won't bring back any 2000s shows because of Nick Jr. refreshing its image to Nick Jr. on Nick and the Nick Jr. channel. But for those who don't know, Tajmir Jr. carried on the Noggin and the Classic Nick Jr. legacy better, even way better. It also carried on the great rated play program it had embraced, like the Play with Us, which has now been recycled, is now renamed to Tajmir Jr., the great generation for preschoolers. Play to learn, like sort of thing. So that's why we're looking at the history of this new block, and this is going to be a new era in preschool television, in FanMade concept. In October 2014, the Random Fan Kids on the Tajmir network was discontinued due to collapsing low ratings and due to fierce competition and lack of advertising. The time slot that the Random Fan Kids aired in was sold to Random Artists Network, and now they became in charge of programming for it. As a result, Random Artists on Tajmir Network replaced the Random Fan Kids in 2014 and 2015. Random Artists on Tajmir Network carried on many of the same programming as the main Boomerang on Cartoon Network block, which itself was discontinued a decade early in 2004 due to Cartoon Network going under a major facelift. Also carried on the classic cartoons that preceded had embraced. And also, Random Artists Network wasn't seen around an international feed because, due to a Tajmir international feed affiliate, didn't want to air it. Even though Random Artists Network played on weekday mornings, it also aired on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings because of an international feed of Tajmir Network's weekday morning schedule. That's why it came on. The reason is because Random Artists got into a conflict between Tajmir Network, Tajmir Media LLC, and Tajmir Media affiliates over not airing the block. That's why it came on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. Shows aired on the block are classic cartoons and were shows acquired by Random Artists Network. So, many shows air on the block, including Gala Island, Blue's Clues, Maisie, Kipper, Moose and Z, Sonic X, One Piece, back-to-back of Back to the Future the animated series, Stargate Infinity, Bratz, Winx Club, and many more, including the 2003 version of the Ninja Turtles. But also, in the near future, in 2020, aired shows like Baby Shark, Bing Bong, which were from Smart Study Properties, Crypto the Superdog, Big Bag, and many more. In 2020, Random Artists on Tajmir Network became an unnecessary block for redundancy on a high level of Nicktoons airing live action shows. In April 29, 2020, Random Artists Network began to air a block which Pink Phone has suggested, such as Baby Shark's Undersea Adventures, which is still airing on Nick Jr., creating an unnecessary network, which is almost compared to Cartoon Network or Boomerang. Random Artists is slowly becoming Nick Jr. too. Baby Shark and Pink Phone don't belong on there. But Random Artists have refused to that budget. And also, Tajmir Network could not take the feud to this anymore. And soon eventually, Tajmir Network put its life into its own hands. However, at the end of summer 2020, it was announced that Random Artists on Tajmir Network will be renamed to Shark Tunes. And the block has been officially renamed in August of 2020. This is practically for the best. During summer 2020, it was revealed that Random Mars Network has been secretly been partnering with Smart Study in Tajmir to syndicate all the Baby Shark music videos to and from the company, and wasn't even given any permission to Nickelodeon or Smart Study, who produced Baby Shark's Big Show, among others. And so both companies filed and also reported this disaster to Tajmir Media immediately. And as a result, Random Mars Network has to drop all Baby Shark music videos one by one. And during October of last year, Mean the UK and Logo Fanner 2003 asked if they can help with Tajmir Network over in October last year. Mean the UK gotten Tajmir Network a new facelift called the Pop UK era, and Logo Fanner bought in a brand new preschool block to reflect the new demographic for Tajmir Network. And so, Logo Fanner 2003 added some shows for Tajmir Network and produced a new programming block, including the key to the rights to Shark Tunes. And so, it was announced that Logo Media would take charge of programming for Random Mars and Shark Tunes, and it was announced that Shark Tunes would be replaced with Tajmir Jr. And so, on October 16th, 2020, Random Mars on Tajmir Network was discontinued, now known as Shark Tunes on Tajmir Network, and was replaced by Tajmir Jr. Tajmir Jr. was launched on October 19th, 2020. Tajmir Jr. carried on the same programming of Noggin and Nick Jr., their two predecessors, and aired on weekday mornings. In fact, Tajmir Jr. is the new predecessor of the classic Nick Jr. block that has all the 2000s shows that are from the classic Nick Jr. block, meaning that this is the first traditional legacy of old Noggin, new preschool Noggin, and classic Nick Jr. And so, on November 30th, 2020, when Tajmir Network announced that the Ran Fan Food Network would be discontinued later last year, and then the Ran Fan Food Network ended its run and was replaced by Tajmir Jr. And also on January 1st, 2021, when Tajmir Jr. announced that Moose and Z would be recontinuing later on this year, and then Moose and Z debuted on from last week of this year, it was the end, and it was a new era. The new descendants of Noggin, but also a new era of a brand new Nick Jr. channel, which is now Tajmir Jr., and it's now become a new era of Noggin that is now having the Moose and Z era, meaning that this is truly a new era. That means there'll be Noggin's Move to the Music, which is going to be recycled into Tajmir Jr., and thus leading kids to tune in to Tajmir Jr. Later on, just over later on this year, in March of 2021 of this month and this year, Tajmir Media began helping Nickelodeon and Tajmir to make way to drop some modern Nick Jr. shows like Paw Patrol and Blaze and the Monster Machines to make way for the classic Nick Jr. shows, which are adding towards the Tajmirville Nickelodeon lineup. And also, the Nickelodeon station decided not to drop Baby Shark's Big Show. In response to this, Tajmir Media ordered Nickelodeon to air 2000s and 90s Nickelodeon shows on their main channel and their Nick Jr. block, while Baby Shark's Big Show and other new series still retained on Nick Jr. on Nick. Later, Tajmir Jr. is now a new reading face of Noggin. This means there's going to be lots of older Nick Jr. shows, recycled Nick Jr. shows, and also with that, it has a new 24-hour channel. At first, it only launched as an on-demand streaming service before it became a programming block, but it did get a channel later in this year in 2021. Now, unlike Nick Jr., Tajmir Jr. aired non-commercials. Among the shows to air on the first of the Tajmir Jr. 24-hour channel were the Fresh Beat Band, Team Umizoomi, Pingu, Kipper, Angelina Ballerina, Booba, not to be confused with PBS Kid Sprout, but Booba did live for a short amount of time before it moved to another FanMade channel. Somehow make way for Naughty, Sesame Street, Big Bag, and many more. In addition, they are airing many programming blocks. On February 11, 2021, a new offshoot of Tajmir Jr. called Tajmir Jr. Go was introduced. Tajmir Jr. Go is aimed at grade schoolers who are too old for standard Tajmir Jr., i.e. 6 to 12 year olds. Shows aired on this new block including Maya and Miguel, Veterans Rough Men, Word Girl, Design Squad, Psy Girls, Fazy's Launch Lab, the 90s Electric Company, Fred on Your Head, and many more. On March 1st, 2021, it was announced that Tajmir Jr. will still have its own 24-hour channel and will have some content of its own. Now, they have an exclusive block called Tajmir Jr. Go, and they'll have a Spanish feed called Tajmir Jr. en Español, Spanish for in Spanish, as well as an evening family block and a school block. With this new channel, Wishbone, Kratz Creatures, The Electro Company, Julius Jr., and other shows will become exclusive to the channel. And eventually, Tajmir Jr. began airing shows that had been retired from Noggin and the Musin Z era that had been retired from Nick Jr. So basically, Tajmir Jr. became old folks' home for Nick Jr. and Nickelodeon shows and Noggin shows, and now became a new era of Noggin for Musin Z. Also, a new edition of a mascot was introduced. The mascot for the Tajmir Jr. block is, you guessed it, Tajmir Jr. No, not the brand. A Go Anime avatar of myself, but this time in the little peeps form with a king's crown. He is the host of the Tajmir Jr. block. However, I'm the host of Tajmir Jr. as well. Well, I'm the main host for Tajmir Network and Tajmir Jr. While Tajmir Jr., the little peeps character from Go Anime, hosts more of Tajmir Jr. head on. He only hosts this on the Tajmir Jr. channel rather than the blog on Tajmir Network. So, we have ourselves a new era. There you have it. One new preschool block, a brand new legacy of Noggin and Classic Nick Jr. Kind of. When dealing with this topic, it could be very confusing at first. So now, everybody don't have to worry. However, in response to thinking that everybody thinks my FanMade channel was fake, I'm making my own live stream web channel for Tajmir Network. However, this will become a very difficult idea because it's riddled with controversy. I'm gonna publicly announce that I would be I would be busy throughout the times during my school days, but after school I'll be adding some videos part of the live stream web channel. So I'm making a choice about if I can make Tajmir Network as a FanMade web channel or stay as a FanMade channel. Take your pick. But if I do it, this wild live stream web channel won't save me. If I'm doing it wrong, and the consequences will just destroy me. So now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Tajmir Jr.? Do you think I should make a web channel for it too? Am I gonna be able to to still keep it afloat? Well, thank you guys for watching this history of Tajmir Jr. And as always, stay tuned.